Honorable Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Member of Parliament for Diego Martin West, Dr. Keith Rowley, Chairman of the Diego Martin Regional Corporation, Councillor Suzanne Hong, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, Ms. Destra Bascom, Aldermen, Councillors, the Chief Executive Officer of the Corporation, Ms. Beverly Harewood, officials from the Ministry of Rural Development, and a special welcome to all the residents of this community this morning. I want to say another special welcome because I know this is a positive for Trinidad and Tobago, especially in the Diego Martin area. I want to welcome the members of the media this morning. Good morning again.
Good morning.
We are delighted that we have been able to deliver this project, the new bridge, for the region of Diego Martin and the constituency of Diego Martin West. The Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government continues to work hard in every community across Trinidad for improvements just like these. Committed as a whole to creating a lasting linkage for our future development. This is a new link between Covigne and Spaniol Roads, allowing a shorter access to Spaniol Road. We hope that it will bring some added convenience to hundreds of residents in this area. This project, like many others, are being pursued by our ministry, aimed to foster rural development and connectivity through infrastructure. This bridge has created a new access point so that service delivery to these residents, like garbage collection, can be more efficient. This is what reforming local government and promoting rural development is about. We want to continuously improve service delivery and access to service for every citizen, regardless if you live in a rural or urban area. We at the ministry are about transparency and accountability to you, the citizens of this country. So we want to tell you about this project. This bridge is 6.5 meters long, 6 meters wide, and 3.5 meters deep. It took the contractor, NV Marketing, 6 weeks to do this bridge itself, and a total of 8 weeks to do the wrapping up in this area, because there were some drainage works also to be done. They were the cheapest and the most experienced bidder for this project. Out of 5 bids we received at the ministry, the contract was awarded for the sum of 859,700,700. And you know that will make the news, eh? So it's $859,758.64. The Ministry of Works, who we have been working closely with, and the Diego Martin Corporation collaborated in adding 4 new speed humps, as you all saw when we were coming into the area. Yesterday, while walking through the area, a resident asked for one of the mirrors, you know, the concave, the convex mirrors. And I want to assure the residents that I will liaise with the Minister of Works and the Traffic Management, and you all will have that mirror before the end of the week. And those of you all who know me, you know when I say something, I'll get it done. We really have to mention this crowd here today. We are glad to see the residents out here this morning. We know this community where you have open doors, just like long time. Remember when you go to your area long time, you'll see doors open and nobody interfering with you? Yesterday we saw that here. You all watch out for one another and take an interest in what is going on in your community. We want to restore that sense of community across the country through volunteerism, to clean up and maintain your surroundings, and through a greater number of municipal police officers patrolling the area and keeping your family safe. You all are here are a true example of this community spirit that we need to move the country forward. The Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government remains committed to working for you. And as I want to mention, take this opportunity to let the country know, this is the beginning of the fiscal year 2018. And I made a commitment. I met with all the mayors, chairmen, aldermen, councillors, CEOs at the beginning of the year. And I'm 1 year now employed at the Ministry of Local Government, and we, myself, the Permanent Secretary, and all the officials there, decided to meet with every local government practitioner throughout the country tomorrow morning in San Fernando at the City Hall Auditorium from 9 to 12, where we will lay out the PSIP projects for the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. So there will be no holding back where monies have to go back on spent balances. We're going to make them spend the money, interact with the community, and let the community choose the projects, because this is what local government reform is about. The community must have a say in whatever projects. Just like how you all wanted this project here, you all got it. Wherever we go throughout Trinidad and Tobago, the rural or urban areas, we will liaise with them and I will visit them. I just don't want to hear, well, we're getting this project and I want to see it in black and white. And I'll be visiting each corporation within the next 3 months. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having us here today. And we are no stranger here, and we'll be back. We were here for the cleanup campaign. We were here for the volunteerism project. I am visiting Diego Martin Corporation the last Wednesday in this month, because I took the opportunity every month. We are going to each corporation to find out not only the problems you have, but the suggestions you have. At the statutory meeting, I meet with the staff, and I'm here on Wednesday, the last Wednesday at 9 a.m., Chairman.
Yes.
And I'm going to Port of Spain at 1 p.m. to meet with the Port of Spain Corporation. So I want to take this opportunity to wish you all happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, and a bright and prosperous New Year. Thank you very much.
Chairman of the Diego Martin Corporation, Susan Hong, my cabinet colleague, Senator Haji Kazim Hosein, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, my other colleagues, members of the corporation, councillors, contractor who did a good job here, members of the community here in Covigne, members of the media. No, ordinarily I wouldn't have been here at this time of day, but this project being in the area that I represent, I have half an hour to be here before I run off to another meeting. So if you see me running off, please excuse me. And of course, I wouldn't want to be away when Christmas comes early in my own constituency. So I want to thank all those who are associated with this project, and to let you know that on behalf of my constituents here, we appreciate the effort. I've been around here for quite some time, and as you know, those of you who know a constituency, there's always something to be done. As soon as you get something done, that's forgotten, and then the next one comes up in line. This particular project has been on the list for quite some time, but we have never been able to do everything at once. And I want to say to the residents here that I appreciate the patience that you've exhibited, and your day would have come when the Ministry of Local Government, in collaboration with the corporation and you, the community, selected this project as the next one that will happen in your district. And the staff at the corporation and local government went ahead through proper process and delivered this project. And when I hear the cost at which it is being done, I know that something is happening with respect to value for money. Because at an earlier time, a few years ago, when this project came up as a priority, one of the reasons why it was not proceeded with at the time was the cost at which it would have been approved. it appears as though we had become so accustomed to millions that we couldn't do anything under millions. And even so, I know the minister is a very prudent man. And even he this morning, he scared us this morning when he told us that it cost 800 million. But all I could say to that is that, Minister, this is a different government. These things don't cost 800 million. I think we would have got value for money on this occasion because it went out for competitive bids. And that is how we intend to get the value for money. Those who can do the work and give us the best price will be chosen and given the opportunity. Across the board in the public sector program, we have been seeing contractors who have been responding by putting their best foot forward, putting their best bid forward, and resulting in some significant reductions in what we were accustomed to. Some contractors still have not gotten out of what they have been accustomed to in putting in some extremely high and ridiculous bids. But as long as there's competition, the taxpayer ought to get the benefit, and if the best price is put in by a contractor who can do the job, and there are no other considerations, then the taxpayer ought to benefit. That must be so, because now we do not have the kinds of revenues that we had before. And even when we had a whole lot more money, certain things were not affordable and were not done. In this community, I can tell you there are still a number of things to be done. But as we do them one by one, we improve the quality of life of the neighborhood. And I can tell you on behalf of the people here in Northern Covigne and Spaniol, I know that they would be very happy to have this bridge as an improvement in their communication in the district. It might look like a small project, but in this day and age in Trinidad and Tobago, $800,000 is not a small amount of money. There might have been a time when that was a petty cash. That is not so now, because we are struggling to find funds to meet the level of expenditure that is required to keep us even close to what we have been accustomed to. So I just want to say how appreciative we are of the fact that the public officers and the ministry as a whole would have gone out and ensured that we use the process that is acceptable, which generates the best outcome for the taxpayer. And that is how it's going to be. 2018 is the year. It comes on us in another few weeks. We get into January 2018. That will be the year when you begin to see what we have been talking about, local government reform. We talked about it before. We campaigned upon it in the last election. We have a mandate to do certain things. We have been drafting certain pieces of legislation. We are about to go to the parliament with that kind of legislation. But in the meantime, where we have administrative authority, we would begin to give local government more responsibility, because we have come to the conclusion, and we have the approval of the electorate to do that, that the local government bodies are to be given more responsibility and to be held accountable for that responsibility and the resources. We start in the very near future with respect to the whole question of transport and cleansing, what we commonly call garbage collection. The current arrangement where we have one contractor running a whole area, and the contractor is alien to the community, and whether the garbage is collected or not, in the office the contractor is paid, the garbage accumulates, and nobody seems to be held accountable. That is going to change. We are currently constrained by certain aspects of the Central Tenders Board Act, but hopefully we expect that that will recede and be replaced by legal operations which will allow each corporation to have the authority to go through its own tender process within the corporation and to select, hopefully from within the district, persons who can do a job like cleansing. Because one of the things in local government is that we want to ensure that the resources made available by the parliament to local government, as far as is possible and reasonable, that those resources go into the local districts. And as far as transport and cleansing is concerned, we can get more detailed transportation and cleansing in communities if we have smaller units that can get into areas like these and cleanse them on an ongoing basis under the watchful eye of a corporation that isn't 100 miles away. So we expect an improvement in the quality of your life. And those of you in my constituency, you know, there are times when sometimes 3-4 weeks we have garbage piled up in certain areas. And you want to keep your neighborhood clean, you want to keep your household and surroundings clean, but you have to pass through this on a daily basis. It's not healthy. And then what really irks me is that nobody's pay gets deducted. The contractor gets paid while the work is not being done. And I expect that when we bring government closer to the people, bring these responsibilities closer to the corporation, that I expect that such things will not be. We also intend by this local government reform to encourage small business in the communities. And that is what the local government will do, to nurture small business and small services in the community. And by the same token, we expect that somewhere along the way, the government will overcome the hurdles that are put in our way. And all of you who live in this area with all these lovely properties, you owe the community and yourselves a little piece of property tax, so that when you pay that little tax, it contributes to supporting your community. And what is going to happen in the local government is that you are going to pay that tax to your local government body. Local government would be responsible for collecting that tax. And then the tax will be collected, because the executive at the corporation would know that you have paid or you have not paid. And they will come and very nicely remind you that you have to pay your little tax to the corporation. And you will know that having paid that tax, you will take a part in the whole discussion and monitoring of how that tax is spent. And by the same token, when you elect a councillor, you will then be closer to monitoring the performance of that councillor. And when you put all of these things together, you will then be in a better position to have a better quality of life, get value for money for the tax you pay, and we keep on progressing the country bit by bit. So these things in local government are not meant to penalize anybody, to punish anybody. They're meant to improve the quality of life across the country. We are anxious to be able to implement these things. They're not all going to be done on the same day, but bit by bit, we will continue to strengthen the local government responsibilities and hopefully have more resources to be able to do things like these. This is a time when the central government is extremely challenged with respect to the discharge of its responsibilities. We have lots of public servants on the payroll. We try to ensure that at the end of the month they get paid. But I must tell you something. There are a lot of people in this country who take life for granted. And as we talk about working together and ensuring that we overcome our challenges, much of which might be not of our own making, but also a lot of it of our own making. I want to say to you all, we here spend a lot of time bad talking this country. Do some comparisons. Because things are not as good as they used to be, take my word for it, it's still a lot better. Still a lot better than in many other places. And had we not been able to do what we have done in recent times, it could have been a whole lot worse. So let us all work together. Let us all appreciate what we have available to us. We've committed ourselves to ensuring that we have healthcare in the hospitals, that we have our children being able to go to school and that there are teachers there to teach them, that there are roads like this for you to go home with, and that there are policemen and others to secure you from the criminal element, and that we're still trying to be productive so that we can export or we can substitute for our imports. These are things that we have to do to keep our country whole. And this country is only going to be kept whole if the population at large appreciate our circumstances and each person take it upon him or herself to do what you have to do at the personal level to contribute to the survival of this nation. And what I saw at Piarco Airport was not individuals taking personal responsibility for doing what little they could do to help us. I saw the opposite. I want to thank the Minister of Local Government for getting into this assignment in the way that he has, working with all our corporations. And among the corporations, we have a lot of people who want to do good for this country. And I have the confidence that the minister and the public service staff will bring about in the year ahead, which we call local government year, 2018, and try to see how much we can do. And we'll begin to see some changes across the country at the local level, at the ground level. Those of you who are invited to participate, whether as volunteers or as community persons of one kind or another, your contribution will be very valuable. If the corporation puts in place mechanisms for consultation with the community, come out and take part. Don't absent yourself and then only complain, because we are great complainers. Some of the greatest complainers in this country have never lifted a finger to improve anything in this country. They live by the mouth and they die by the mouth and nurse with the mouth. Come out and take part. If you are parents or grandparents or custodians of children, come out and take part in the PTA. If you have skills in any area and you're asked to take part, come out and take part. Influence what your corporation does. And at the end of the day, we in Trinidad and Tobago will continue to be the people in a blessed nation who can always say that we have good reason to love this place and don't want to live anywhere else in the world, because the best place in the world is in Trinidad and Tobago. In the event that there's anybody here from the other areas where we have small projects like these which have not yet been done, all I can say to you is continue to be patient. Your turn will come. Today is the turn of Spaniol. Maybe next week, maybe next month. I know there are 2 projects further up the road that I am lobbying for. Because you know, even as Prime Minister, I have to lobby. I'm lobbying for 2 other of these projects up the road. I have been told that maybe I will, we'll get one. I'm looking forward to that, and when that time comes, I hope that we'll be there appreciating once more that our turn has come. Very soon, in the northern Diego Martin area, we are hoping in the early part of next year to complete our sporting complex, and I'm sure that will put a spring in the step of all the young people in this area and all around, because we have a lot of young people here who are anxiously waiting for the completion of that Diego Martin sporting complex. And of course, when that shall have come, we would be very happy to finally have a high standard of a sporting facility in the Diego Martin area to satisfy our appetite for sporting events. And by the same token, we have 1 or 2 other projects. I passed by the Diego Martin police station this morning and I saw the site for the health center overgrown with grass, and somebody was tying a cow there, and I hope it wouldn't remain a pasture for too long. But I must tell you that work is going on the inside. Very soon we'll go to tender, and we should be able, funds being available, we should be able to commence projects like that. But again, just if I came out of home to come here, the last correspondence I got from the Minister of Finance was a text message requesting a meeting with me for us to sit down with the rest of our team and to prioritize our development program works, simply because we are very anxious to have projects like these, but we have to do it within the context of our ability to pay. So everything has to be done in the context of how much money we have, what is the priority, and how the projects should be ordered, because we can't hire contractors and not be able to pay them. So I hope that local government would be in a position to pay for this bridge. because we have it already. You're not going to get it back. So hope you will have looked after your numbers very well. So once again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding of our national situation. And I thank you in advance for your deeper participation and involvement in local government as we bring about the effects and benefits of local government reform. Thank you very much.